everyone to this week's Freshman 15. As you work through this semester, we want to bring you tools and tips that enable you to be successful academically and personally. Today, I'm excited to have Dr. Rob Blakney join our conversation. Why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
Okay, I'm Dr. Rob Blakney. I am an assistant dean at a graduate school in the DFW area. I teach a lot of leadership courses, both at a master's level and a doctoral level, but I've also done it at undergrad level, which is a lot of fun. I've not always been a professor. I came out of the Army way back a long, long time ago and became a chemist. So I took a job as a criminologist at a crime laboratory in Shreveport, Louisiana. I analyzed everything from bodies to chemicals to accelerants that people use to burn down houses, drugs, stuff we pulled off of stoves that people were cooking. I just did it all. But that was a very dark job that I had. I chose to leave that, and I became a pharmaceutical chemist, making drugs for a very large pharmaceutical company around the world, big company, wonderful company, and did that for several years. I then went into philosophy, theology, religion, became a pastor, finally felt like my wife and I wanted to come be teachers at this liberal arts / seminary in the DFW area. So my former degrees are informing my current degrees.
Pulling an all-nighter to finish a project or study for a test can be seen as a badge of honor in college, but we don't always consider the physical implications. Can you briefly explain what happens internally when we push ourselves to our limits?
Oh yeah, well, we are, the saying is, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And so if we become stressed, we do have a system to handle stress. And that's the adrenal gland that is created within us. And the adrenal gland gives out what it sounds like, adrenaline or adrenaline. And it will surge out of our adrenal gland if we need it. It is called, another name for it is epinephrine, but same thing. It's referred to as fight or flight type of drug that our own body produces, and it will surge when we need it. Often people do that with all-nighters, and the adrenal gland will pump it out, our eyes dilate, our blood pressure does go up, our breathing becomes more heavy. We actually think we're doing a wonderful thing, but it's having the exact opposite effect. It is the thing that helps you fight a bear or run from a bear. You know, it's the same thing that you'll read where people pick up cars off of their loved one. The car is flipped over or run over somebody. That adrenal gland just ka-choosh is pushing it out there, and unbelievable strength comes on. That's because your adrenal gland goes into overdrive and pushes it into your arteries and veins.
So are there any long-term side effects from relying on adrenaline rush to get us through?
You know, you got to watch it because it runs the blood pressure can go crazy high. And if you lived on it and you had weakened things, there's always that possibility of a stroke, an artery or vein popping because we've just lived on it so long. Our arteries and veins don't like it, though. If people that smoke can do it for a long time, quit smoking, and their lungs will recover. People who do alcohol, unless it's just a chronic case, can quit alcohol, their liver will recover. Our arteries don't know how to recover from adrenaline when it runs through us. It's a bit like having a car. You run out of gas, but well, there's a can of jet fuel over there, so let's run some jet fuel for the car. And I tell people, yeah, you'll get somewhere real fast, but then that car won't ever run again. We can hyperventilate ourselves using adrenaline, actually pass out. Our body's not made to run on adrenaline all the time. It is a fight or flight thing. that we do use on the rarest of occasions. When we use it, when we pull all-nighters and we need it, we're doing a destructive thing in our arteries and veins that can't recover. They don't regenerate. It's so corrosive, in time, it'll get us.
Is this just a lifestyle that we see among college students, or do people tend to carry this pattern with them beyond their academic career?
Adrenaline is addictive. It will give you that false high. And you'll kind of like it. You'll know, hey, I can put this thing off. I can put off doing something around the house. I can put off coursework. I can put off shopping at Christmas. I can put these things off and do it all in one day. And my friend Epi, epinephrine or adrenaline, they've worked for me before, and you can get very dependent on it. And I'll mispronounce it: adrenaline, amphetamine, heroin, codeine. There's a reason that they have those endings, and they're relatable drugs. And so many people will make a career change or make a very wrong decision after they've been up on adrenaline, because being fearfully and wonderfully made, our bodies know to pull us down. And so now our bodies, when we're not on the adrenaline, we get highly depressed. And so then we don't like to depress, so let's get back up on adrenaline again.
So what are some practical tools that students can implement to overcome these unhealthy habits?
I'm reading a book right now. Let's see if I got it right. Wasn't even planning on showing this to you, and it may be backwards, I'm not sure. Simple Life. But declutter your life. Work backwards from big events. I got a big test on Friday morning. Work backwards, giving yourself, saying, instead of I'm going to study for 6 hours the night before, say I'm going to study for an hour Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. Plan better. I didn't just want to make an A. I wanted to set the curve on every test. But I learned that if I wanted to be that good, I had to have all these due dates on a schedule. I was so planned that I had fun. Many times I didn't study the night before the test because I worked backwards. And here's the other, it's a 4-letter word: rest. You got to rest more. If you rest more, you think better, you plan better. You don't even have to pull the adrenaline out of the tool chest, So there we are. Plan and rest.
In Proverbs 23, the wisdom writer suggests that success at the expense of our health is a waste. What might this look like in the life of a student?
If you tried to live on adrenaline, that you could come out of college already with a body ravaged with jet fuel that you've been pumping through there, that the stress of a normal person having stress, their system would handle it, where a person who has been shooting jet fuel by choice into their veins, they may be real smart and die at 30. So you got that success, you came out with straight A's or almost straight A's, you got hired because you did all this crazy stuff. I am counseling a family right now where this guy's working 80 hours a week. He's successful in work because he's calling on adrenaline. He gets home, he goes through a type of mild depression. Family doesn't want to be around him. Suddenly he finds himself with a wife leaving him. Very successful at work, and then he loses his family and his health.
Dr. Blakney, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. I also want to thank each of you who joined us for this discussion. We would love to hear from you, comments on this topic or ideas of future conversations. Until next week, remember, you're not in this alone, and when you feel stretched, you are just learning. Before we go, Dr. Blakney, do you have any final comment?
Have a little more fun. Make it 3.5. You don't have to make it 4.0. Well, you get what I'm trying to say. have way more fun. Employers are going to hire you if you are a person who has fun, you enjoy life, they see your countenance as having fun. They're not going to care if you got a 3.0, a 3.5, or a 4.0. You know, they want to know you're well-rounded, you're a people person. If we could do it all over again, we would have had more fun.